Lost Souls. The views and opinions of guests do not necessarily reflect those of the Lost Soul podcast or the Vibes Broadcast Network.
Hey everybody, this is Ben. Tonight on Lost Souls, I am with Salem Starr. She is a practicing witch. She's very strong with personal empowerment. She's a professional psychic. She does tarot readings and also offers relationship guidance. How are you doing tonight, Salem?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me on.
That's great. We're super great to have you. So how long have you been practicing?
The witchcraft or just my abilities?
Maybe I'll start with witchcraft.
Okay, well, honestly, one of my beliefs is that you're born a witch, so I want to say my whole life, but actually practicing, since about 2012 is when I really started getting into witchcraft and actually practicing in my daily life.
Okay. So when did you start to notice your gifts? Did you have any experiences when you were younger?
Oh yeah, in terms of the psychic abilities, yeah, it's just honestly so I was home. This is kind of funny. I was homeschooled. My mom was Catholic. My dad ranged more towards he leaned more towards the atheist kind of beliefs. But since I was homeschooled, I just assumed I had a lot of experiences where I would know something was going to happen, and then it happened, and precognition, kind of anticipating future events. And I didn't even know that it wasn't the norm. I just thought everybody did it. So I just kind of grew up not even thinking anything of it, that it was a gift or anything. I just thought that's what people do. In terms of the paranormal and all that, I did have some experiences as a child, but at the time I didn't think a whole lot of it, more as in my early 20s, I started looking back and I just kind of questioned okay, was I dreaming that, a few of the experiences just seemed kind of abnormal. So but as I got older, I started accepting more of okay, I do have abilities. I can pick up on future events. A lot of times it's very fragmented, especially for myself. I find it hard to read for myself. But there are times where I can anticipate something that's going to happen. So it just kind of got stronger more in 2012, when I started accepting it more, and then more so after my second son was born. I think that as I really started living a really clean lifestyle, organic eating, drinking a lot of water. I didn't even drink caffeine for several years. It was kind of I don't know, detoxing and just taking better care of myself so I could nurse my son and him be healthy as well. But I noticed then my gifts started opening up more.
So would you say having the healthier lifestyle almost elevated them?
Honestly, that's what I really believe that. It was kind of a cleansing thing, and and like it really makes a difference when we take care of ourselves. Like it makes us more of like a clear vessel. So we're more open to our intuition instead of like clouding our bodies with things that are toxic. I mean, and I'm one of those like everything like in moderation. Like I'm not as extreme as I was during those 3 years. Now, like, but I'm more about like moderation. Like you can indulge in certain things, but you know it's moderation. So I used to, like, for example, like caffeine. Like I still drink caffeine, but like I limit how much I have daily. So, but like I said, I believe that it does make a difference, like how we take care of ourselves and, you know, resting and exercising, being out. I feel like being out in nature, honestly, makes a difference in terms of being more open, like to our intuition and just like, I don't know, honestly, like, and then like limiting social media time because we're not as distracted. We're paying more attention to us. We're more self-aware. Like we're a lot more self-aware.
Yeah, I feel social media, well, too much use of it kind of makes you numb at some point.
That's what I was gonna say. Like anything that you overindulge in, honestly, like there's a difference between indulging and then overindulgence, like to excess. That's where it becomes unhealthy.
Yeah.
Is where you're numbing, like whether it's with food, whether it's with alcohol, whether it's with even like social media, like whatever's numbing you and you're overindulging in. And that could be like shopping. So it doesn't necessarily have, like, nothing, in my opinion, is necessarily negative in itself. It's how we use it and, like moderation. Like, that's just my, like, opinion and my belief.
No, I completely agree with that. I've actually never had anyone describe their abilities and where they get their power from quite like that. So I really like that you mentioned all of those things.
Yeah, that's just kind of like my personal like observation, honestly. Like, I mean, to me, it makes more sense that like if we're distracted from our thoughts, our feelings, our intuition, and just from life, like from living life, where we're overindulging in stuff, and I feel like that's when it can cloud our judgment or cloud our choices and our intuition. So
yeah, I agree with that. So would you call yourself a practicing witch? Like, how would you describe that?
yes. Yeah. So, like, I am a Levian Satanist. I am not currently a card holder. I do plan on getting a membership here in the near future. But I do lean more towards the philosophy. I agree with a lot of Anton LaVey's his philosophy, and it just resonates very strongly with me. I was given the Satanic Bible as a gift by a friend in 2012, and like it's just what I needed at that time. For me, it's been more like helpful in terms of like personal empowerment because you're taking responsibility for your life. It's all about like positive action leads to positive results. Like, is when you make positive choices, then of course like your life is going to get better in several ways. And like to me, like, so like the candles and everything is more symbolic versus making a wish or praying and just hoping something falls into your lap. Like when you light a candle or create a vision board, it's all about your intention. So basically it's subconsciously planting it there, and then as you take action steps towards your goals, that's what that's how you accomplish things. So for me, Witchcraft is really more about like just taking personal responsibility for your life and being strong in who you are and owning your personal power by, making more positive choices, versus, like I said, just like lighting a candle and hoping, something falls into your lap or just your life automatically like gets better. Like to me, that's not how it works.
Yeah. So you're basically.
It's led to like a lot of self-awareness, honestly. A lot of people, I feel, misunderstand what it's about. Like, we do not believe in like Satan. He's just more of a symbol of individuality. I do not believe in the devil. It's just, like I said, for me, it's about, taking pride in yourself, owning your life, living your life, like enjoying your time given on earth.
So it's like cognitively making a goal and preparing your future and working towards it.
Yes. Yeah, that's how I see, the witchcraft that I practice. So, like I said, everything is symbolic. Colors all have meaning. Crystals all have their meanings, but it's all like, to me, it's all symbolic.
Okay.
Hopefully that made sense.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So do you feel that there's anything that sets you apart, maybe, from others in your field?
Honestly, in terms of like the tarot readings and like the psychic, I would think probably like being openly being like a Levian Satanist is kind of different. Like it's not the norm. If that, like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you don't really see too many people who, are more open about it, because like, for me, it's like, I don't have to like go around calling myself that, but I'm like, there's no sense like in hiding it. And I mean, that's what I believe in. That's the philosophy that I agree with. So like, to me, there's just no, harm in sharing like who I am. But yeah, so I don't know, I feel like that's kind of different, because like how I do my readings is more, like I do say, it's for entertainment and inspirational purposes only. I do have to say that. But for me, how I do them is it's more of like, I read people's energy, and then I offer them, messages based on what I pick up and what I think that they need to hear at that time. And then I confirm with them after I've said, like, say we're doing a half-hour reading, like 15 minutes into it, I kind of ask if anything's making sense to them. Because I do more of like a cold reading, I guess, I think is another reference for it, where you're not really like, you're not asking constantly, like, okay, is this the case, or is this you're giving your message, you're relaying, what you pick up, whether it's specifics about like and I say possible future outcomes, because we all have different paths, and like our choices ultimately are what creates our future. So say, a month from now, if you were going down the same path, and didn't really alter anything that you're doing, then that's what you're going to get a month from now. But if you look at things in a different way and decide to make a different choice and see that there's more options, if you go that different route, well, then your outcome is going to be different a month from now, if that makes sense. So for me, honestly, like, I encourage people to trust their intuitions, and I kind of, have them check in, what option feels good for you. When you think about it, like, don't second guess yourself, like, trust your gut. And I'm really big on that. And like I said, personal empowerment, I really try to encourage people to do things based on self-love and yes, love for others, but like, ultimately we have to honor ourselves, so that way we can make conscious choices that are, respectful and loving to others. But like, if we're not taking care of ourselves and putting ourselves first, then I mean, it's going to make us resentful towards people, that we care about or whatever, that when we're over giving or, when we're not basically taking care of ourselves, like, it really does impact our mood and how we relate to others. So if we have a healthy relationship with ourselves, we're better able to attract and manifest healthy relationships with other people. So like, I'm really big on, like I said, personal empowerment, self-love, in terms of like relationship guidance. Like, I tend to get a lot of women who are just coming out of or are in domestic violence relationships. So that's where I kind of like, I encourage them to, see their worth, and that there is a way out, that they don't have to settle and stay in that situation. So that to me is something I'm really passionate about, is, domestic violence advocacy and awareness. So that kind of comes up, throughout readings.
Yeah, that's awesome. So trying to think of how to word this.
You're fine.
Do you enjoy the feeling that you get when you're able to help someone and they kind of like take on to what you're saying, or that you see the light bulb in their eyes?
Yes. No, honestly, it makes me feel really good. Like, when other people are able to, recognize, like, hey, yeah, that's my confirmation, or that's how I felt. And that's just like, because like I said, I do often, it's like checking in and like, confirmations, about how they felt. And to me, that's really rewarding. And especially like when I pick up like dates, times, specific details, like, names of, people that have passed, or people in their lives, or, and I mean, sometimes how like it comes up is like in more specific things, like, colors of clothes, or specific items that I'm being, shown. So like, I like them being like, like, wow, like, that's legit. And one of the things I found to be really rewarding is like, if I do a reading and then like a month or two later or 6 months later, the person, messages me and is like, hey, this happened on this around this time frame, just like you said. And that's just really rewarding. Like, it's a confirmation to me that, I've had some sort of positive impact in their life. They were either, entertained and amazed, or, inspired. So that's my goal, is to like inspire people and, and entertain them at the same time, honestly.
That's awesome. So if you could give anyone maybe they're learning about their gifts right now, or they're beginning to have these impressions, what advice would you give them?
Like I said, honestly, like, trust your gut. Like, do not discount it. In terms of like, if you get negative vibes about a person, a situation, a job, any opportunities, like, check in with yourself, pay attention to that, because you might not know at that point in time, the exact reason why you feel that way. But you feel that way for a reason. Because like, I've had experiences like that, and then I was like, oh, that's why that felt off. So I'm really big on encouraging people to like trust their intuition. I mean, even like positive things, like if something, feels like the right direction to go, honor that, trust that. Honestly, like, I feel like sleeping well, self-care is really huge. And, your abilities, like just developing them more, like as you take care of yourself, I mean, you're in a better place to kind of, check in and pay attention to your inner voice and your intuition.
That's great. I hope that some of our listeners that are possibly going through any of this right now would take all of that into consideration, because that's some great advice. So where can our listeners and my followers find you? Like, do you have a more than just the Instagram? Do you have Twitter, a Facebook, a website?
I currently, my main outlet is Instagram. I have the handle is Witchery by Salem Starr. That's my main. That's where I do my readings and my witchcraft posts. And then I am working on my website. It's been a work in progress. Like, it's www.thesexypsychic.com, and that's, like I said, a work in progress. So I'm going to be updating that more within the coming month. I've had a lot of projects and all that, and I've kind of been putting my website off, and I need to, get on that. So, but right now the main source is my Instagram, and that's where you can, you can send me DMs, like I say, serious inquiries only, in regards to like readings. So, and I can do video chats through, Instagram. I accept PayPal and Venmo at the moment.
Well, that's awesome. I hope everyone that's listening tonight can look you up and connect with you and learn more about you. I thought this was great. I mean, it's so nice to learn more about you and your feelings, and how you described your craft was beautifully done.
Thank you. No, I appreciate you having me on the show. It's a great opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we're happy to have you. I sound like it's been a long day for you, though, Salem. Do you want me to go ahead and let you go?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Okay, thanks again for being on the show.
Okay, you have a great night.
Hey, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.